Now you see my screen. I just want to tell you about the folder that I created. You can see here that I've organized it in a very clear to understand way. So it has influencer marketing platforms, ad revenue. These are the various incomes that I'm going to talk about. And in here you can find, let's say, for example, influencer marketing platform. I'm sure you all want to know, what are the platforms that you need to join to start getting paid gigs, and also to start with collaborations, gifted items. Sometimes it could be hotel stays or trips. But anyway, you want to look at all of these things and join the folder. And so now let me just start my slide. Start my slide. Okay. Okay, here. Okay. Okay, so welcome everybody. Wow, we have over 200 people here and increasing. So today, as you know, we're going to talk about how to make money on social media, even if you don't have a huge following, if you want to pursue it as a side hustle for now and then eventually make it full time. This is the presentation for you. And who am I? Just in case, I know some of you joining here probably don't follow me, although maybe most of you do. My name is Tina, and my Instagram is Upleather and Lace. And I started in, so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about, like, a very, very quick version of my journey, so you know what I'm about. Basically, in October 2016, I started my blog, and I was working full-time as a designer at that time. And I just knew that I needed to create something that belonged to myself. And also I was looking at my manager, and she was so stressed, and I thought, I don't really wish for that in the longer term. So I thought I need to start something now and hopefully nurture it one day to make it a business. Although at that time I had no idea what kind of business it would be. I didn't even know how people paid influencers, or that you can go on paid trips, or all of these like crazy, amazing things that have happened since. But I just started learning, and I started trying to grow my Instagram. It was a long journey, but over time I learned a lot about it. And so now I have since grown to over 200,000 followers, and also started photography. So I started photography about 2 years ago, and before that I actually only worked with photographers who would edit the photos for me. I didn't know anything about editing, about photography, and I basically learned it myself. And since then I've worked with a lot of brands, I mean, including Bublup, this amazing platform where you can combine your pictures, your website links, and your YouTube videos all organized in one place by topic. And that's why I'm sharing this topic with you in this way, because I think it's so easy to organize, and you can just basically copy it to your own folders. So today, the folder that you join, if you see anything that you really you like and you want to remember, or you want to organize it in your own way, you can just copy the links into your own folders and create your own folders. Okay. And yes, so that's like really, really quick intro about who I am. But let's just say along the way, there was a lot of trial and error and hard work figuring out how to make it work and how to make it full time. Fortunately, now I do work full time as an influencer. I work from anywhere I want, or from home with my husband. So, but I do travel. Prior to COVID, I was traveling a lot, and I do have also many friends who are influencers and are doing this full time. So I just want to let you guys know that it's totally possible. So I'll show you. I'll tell you more about it if I get my slides right. Okay, so today we're going to cover mainly the biggest topic is how to make money as a full-time influencer, the different streams of income that we use to make it full-time. And then we're also going to tell you how you can make money on social media even if you don't have a huge following. And then the last part is how you can still quit your job before you make it full time, because there are definitely ways that you can work on your social media full time before the income is there, because it's really, really hard to juggle a full-time job and Instagram which is basically a full-time job, or YouTube, depending on whichever platform you prefer. Okay, so I think most people are familiar, but influencer marketing basically is uh, when companies partner with influencers and they will increase brand awareness, or maybe it's conversion, depending on the goal of their campaign. Utilizing influencers to spread their word or to get sales is a super effective way nowadays. It has been proven often to be more effective than traditional media, but also often more affordable than traditional media. So that's a huge advantage that influencers have. But also, like, why are campaigns and why are companies engaging with influencers? It's because the audience that we have, it's really more of a connection, like a community, and because it takes a long time to develop this audience, and hopefully you guys trust my opinion or what I suggest to you, and so I would only work with people that I really also love or trust in, believe in, or products I use or products I would use. So that's just some of the reasons why influencer marketing is so popular right now. And I know some of you might be wondering, like, is it too saturated? I understand that over time, Instagram has become more saturated in this recent year and say last year. However, influencer marketing is really a huge growing industry. I'll show you some stats. So 65% of influencer marketing budgets have increased in 2019. This is a survey for 2019. However, I've also seen this trend in the past 3 years, and it is just going up from here. Even with COVID, I can say that I'm still consistently getting jobs, and from new people as well as old people that I've worked with. So I don't think that the influencer marketing industry will slow down. Another thing is, right now it's really hard for companies to produce professional content because of COVID, really. However, if you're an influencer at home, you can actually produce the content for these brands from home, and that's the beauty of Instagram and YouTube. So you can look through these numbers a little bit. I'm not going to just repeat them to you, but basically understanding what sort of budget companies have nowadays, it can vary depending on the company, because some are heavily focused on influencer marketing. Some even, I think, spend all of their marketing budget on influencer marketing because it's so effective. So it really depends on the company. But yeah, these are really some really positive trends in the industry. So yeah, let's get into the main topic though, because I know you're all curious about it. Okay. So today we're going to go through 12 different streams of income for influencers, and the first one is sponsored posts. And sponsored posts is by far, I would say, the main way that many influencers make money. It is the case for me, and I can't believe I'm saying this, like this wouldn't have been possible in my wildest dreams, but in the past year, the past 12 months, I've made over 6 figures from sponsored campaigns. And I know actually other peers who have done the same or had even more success. So the key though to sponsored posts is that both of the brands must align. So the influencer's brand and the brand who wants to engage with the influencer, this has to align, because then that way it will be a win-win-win situation. Basically, the company will win because they will get new customers or get better brand awareness, and the influencer will win because they get a job, but also they get probably products that they love or a trip that they love. And the audience also benefits because this is something that they want and they will learn from, or it's probably something they were looking for. Perhaps you're solving a solution or something that they wanted to use already and just didn't know which brand they wanted. So generally, I would say paid campaigns. There's a lot of gifted stuff going on, and just as a side note, if anybody comments on your post or DMs you to tell you to be their ambassador, but then they ask you to pay for the shipping, just know that that's a scam. Okay, so beware of that. If you have to at any point pay for your supposed collaboration, it's a scam. Ooh, let me get, my dress is coming apart. Okay. But paid campaigns can start at various different levels, but I would say even in the thousands, you can definitely start with paid campaigns, but there will need to be extra value add usually. And it can also start around 10, 20K, depending on your engagement, how engaged your audience is, and how targeted your audience is. So like how specific it is for the brand. Also, I know a lot of people ask this, how much do you charge for responsive posts? So I'm going to be straight up here and tell you this is the general accepted market rate is 1% of your follower count. However, there are many factors affecting this. For example, engagement, engagement, impression or reach. It could be the actual conversion. So I know there are some influencers who get lower engagement, however, they convert like crazy. Like they would wear a dress and it would sell out. So there are many different metrics to measure the success of a campaign, but also many companies also require additional content. So if there are exclusive rights, if to the image, if there's exclusivity for the campaign, meaning if you work with Coke today, you can't work with Sprite tomorrow. So there's a period of time that companies can request exclusivity, and that also drives the cost up. Also stories, how many stories that they include. Is there a swipe up? Is there a link in a bio? So there's many factors that can affect this, but really it's about the brand and the influencer working together to negotiate something that makes sense for both of them. Okay, so while we're here, I just want to show you the folder, how you get paid campaigns. So there are various ways. One of the ways is direct contact, but also you can go on these influencer marketing platforms, as you can see here. These are some of the biggest ones that I know, and if I think of any, I'll keep adding. But obviously, Studio is one, Collectively, Activate, Isaiah is a newer one. I've never tried it, so I'm not sure. Aspire IQ, I have had several gigs from them earlier on in my influencer career, and Tap Influence, sorry, and Zine I know is more global. So Zine.co is I think a lot of UK gigs, a lot of Europe gigs, but also Southeast Asia as well. And then 4 is a pretty big one. They also sell all influencer data to people, to brands. So, join if you like. There's a chance you might get a gig. I'm not sure. I have never worked with 4, so I can't speak on that. Okie dokie. Let's share this again. So you can take your time to look at, through the different platforms. I think some may require you to request an invite, and some are just, you can just sign up. So you can go through it. Okay, we're gonna go through to the second one, is ad revenue. So ad revenue is a really big one for bloggers and for YouTubers. However, Instagram, as of right now, has not rolled out any method to make an income with ad revenue, but there is news that they are testing it with IGTV mostly and IG Live. So I believe IGTV is, there will be some sort of ad revenue program, and then IG Live is more like the followers can donate type of situation, like buy stickers. We have not seen how it works yet, so stay tuned for that. Hello, Jerome. Jerome is awake. I see you. Okay. Side note. And okay, and for other kinds of ad revenue, if you have a blog and let's say you have around 200,000 unique visitors a month, that is absolutely a full-time income just from ad revenue. 200,000 unique visitors a month is a lot of eyeballs. So there are a lot of different companies that you can apply for ad revenue, and one of the more famous ones that I know of is Mediavine, and I believe they request like a minimum of 25,000 unique visitors per month. So this is something exclusive for blogs, and obviously YouTube has ad revenue, and I linked a lot of different links. So this is really worth showing you though, but so I have to show you. Okay, ad revenue. Here you have blog ad networks. I put all the links in here for the different ad networks that you can join, and also there are ad networks where you don't need a minimum number of traffic to be able to apply. YouTube ad revenue, I put in some YouTube videos on how much people made with, let's say, 1 million followers and less followers. So I give it a range. You know, we don't want to be looking at something that seems too unattainable for now. Although I will tell you now, if you put your mind to something, if you find the right niche, and if you use the right methods, you can do it. You can make it. Just want to put that out there. Okay, and this blog income report, you should go check it out, because I am not actively working on my blog like every month now. However, my blog still exists, and I still have organic SEO and Pinterest traffic. But these bloggers, they look like they're most likely full-time with their blog, and many people make, I know there's a woman called Making Sense with Sense. She makes 6 figures every month on her blog through various streams of income. And let's talk a bit more about that. Okay. Okay, ad revenue. Oh, sorry, someone asked, what is unique visitors? Basically, it's each and every unique visitor that visits your website every month. You can get all of those analytics on Google Analytics. Okay. And then the next one is affiliate income. So affiliate income is basically when you recommend something using your link and people purchase an item using your link, you get a percentage. It could be, 5% to up to 20, 30, 40%, depending on the product. So I've listed some of the sites that provide this service where they connect brands and publishers. Publishers meaning, it's a loose term. You could have a blog, you could have an Instagram or anything, YouTube, and you can sign up to be a publisher. And once you are a publisher, you can use your unique tracking link to recommend products. Of course, if you're recommending good products and people want it, then they will most likely buy it. But the good thing is you get a cut, the company gets their revenue, and the consumer gets what they want. So it's not limited to items. It also works for travel. So for example, my web page, so I'm showing you here on the screen here, this is my reward style. I can tell you I don't make a lot of money on reward style, but sometimes when people ask me like, hey Tina, where is that dress from? I will leave a link if it's available. If there's an affiliate link available, I will leave the link for them and they can go purchase it. So you can see here somebody used my ASOS link to buy some clothes, and then also I have travel links on my website. So booking.com is my only travel website that I've linked to so far, but there are other things like, so there's Agoda, Expedia, car rental, there's travel insurance, even JR Rail has an affiliate program, and I didn't even know about that until I was like trying to find examples of what to put in here. So next time you go to Japan, you can write a post about how to travel across Japan and then link to JR Rail and get commission from writing a blog post. So that's pretty good, right? So as you can see, these 3 are already like some major ways that bloggers make income. I would say affiliate income is pretty powerful if you are focused on a specific niche. Let's say you are all about recommending tours, or you're all about recommending clothes. So that works really well because your audience trusts your recommendation. I'm pretty sure that if Sony had an affiliate program, I would make a lot of money, but I don't think they have it. So, uh, shoot. Okay, so there's more to this. There's credit card programs, and one of the more lucrative ones is course affiliate programs. So courses generally can range in price, hundreds of dollars, even up to 1,000, 2,000, and they often have affiliate programs where when you're a student, you can use your link and sell the course to other people if you feel like you've gained a lot of value from the course. And I think it pays out pretty well because the percentage is higher. Let's say your course is $600 and they give you a payout of 100, 100, 150. If you only just sell to 6 people and 6 people decide to buy the course because of your recommendation, you can make the money of the course back. So that's pretty amazing. And you can also negotiate with the brands themselves what kind of commission you think is fair for both of you. So sometimes there are companies that reach out directly and they have their own affiliate system. So these really vary. Okay, next one is licensing. So licensing is one that works pretty well for especially photographers, videographers, so people who are content creators. Brands often need commercial images or just additional content for their social media. So when you license the image to them, you give them a certain amount of rights to use the image, and this can vary. So the more rights they ask for an image, so for example, you want to post it on your social media and they want to post it on their email blast and they want to post it on their website, and they're going to put ad money behind the photo on Facebook ads. So that licensing price will go higher. There is a Getty image price calculator. I've also put that in the folder for you, so you can go check that out. If you're curious, like somebody sees your beautiful photo and you're like, I wonder how much I can charge for it, you can go check out the image price calculator. I've actually used that before. The reason is because this beautiful photo with my beautiful friend Ilona, who is online with us right now, that we took at Times Square was basically stolen by the hotel that we took it at. Yes. And they just used my image without asking me. They put ad money behind it. And so I found out because somebody sent it to me, and I reached out to the hotel. Actually, Mr. D, my husband, helped me reach out to the hotel and asked for a cease and desist, and we managed to get a licensing fee out of it. And then we basically just from there on sold the image to them for a year. Yeah, so that's definitely a way licensing can work. Sorry, Elena, I totally exploited you for being part of this in this photo. Okay. Another one is Patreon. Okay, so Patreon is something that I actually recently just started. Patreon is a website where it's a subscription basis. However, there is also single purchase basis, I believe. But so this is an example of my Patreon on the right here. You can create your own membership, and at each different membership level, provide value for the people who want what you're providing. So for me, I am doing, templates, as you can see here with the magazines, and recently I have like Google templates, but also I do tutorials on how to apply them on mobile apps. I do in-depth tutorials on photo editing, how to get really epic photos. But I also have the highest tier at $25 a month is for like cinemagraphs, short form video, stop motion video, that kind of stuff. And I will be upfront and say that for this kind of subscription, usually you do need a certain amount of audience for it to convert well. But it also depends on the engagement of your audience and how much they want to gain, let's say, knowledge from you. So and Patreon also takes a cut from your how much you make. So I absolutely know there are musicians, artists, illustrators, influencers, podcasts that make 6 figures every year from Patreon. And there are actually some people who are full-time Patreon artists, so to speak. Yeah, and so this is definitely another way. Then, of course, there is product and service. This can include a very wide range, but I'm going to kind of limit it more to items. So there's many examples, as you can see here. Danielle Bernstein from We Were What. She is a prime example of an influencer who first was just collaborating with people and influencing, and then started her own clothing brand. And they have swim, they have overalls, they have, oh, she has a Macy's collab recently. And this is on top of her sponsor stuff, on top of her affiliate income, and anything else that she might be using. So it's pretty amazing what she's built. And okay, so for example, my friend Explorasaurus, Raquel and Miguel, they are a couple who travel and they have amazing, beautiful photos. So they sell clothing line, because I'm sure Raquel gets asked a lot where she buys her clothes. So recently they launched a clothing line. And so the same with all of these, you can have a look at the examples. Sometimes it can be a collaboration with a brand, like Revolve and certain bloggers, but it doesn't have to be like Revolve. There are jewelry brands that have worked with microbloggers to create their signature earring and sold them that way. So the advantage is the brand gets to utilize your audience and they increase their sales, and you get to also get income from a product that you've created. However, a lot of people also create their own products. So there is a girl called Lindsay Albanese. She created a company called Top Tote, and basically it's like a magnetic clip for your hat. And I'm sure as a blogger, any blogger would understand, because your hats are just, it's so hard to hold them when you are like dragging your luggage, and she has this magnetic clip, and then there's a hook, and so you can hook it onto your bag, and it's genius. I think it's great. I just bought a non-slip grip like a clothing hanger from Amazon, and I used that and it worked fine for me. It was maybe like $1, so you can do that too. I think it's pretty good. So I just use these non-slip clips to carry my hats around when I travel. So that's just some of the examples, but this is, I think the Top Tote one is a great one, that like she created a product out of a need. I think it's genius. And somebody asked, somebody mentioned that Tezza has a mobile app. Yes, we're going to talk about mobile apps later as well. I didn't put it in product service because I just kind of wanted to separate it. I think they're in very different realms of expertise. Okay, the next one is courses or coaching. Basically, if you have a particular skill set and you know you're really good at it, there will be people who want to learn from you. And it all depends on how much value you can provide. Let's say if you can provide coaching on a certain topic that will change their life or change their career, or make them or help them make more money and go from making $2,000 a month to eventually $10,000 a month, would you buy that course? Very likely. Yeah, I have bought courses myself, and some of them have been valuable, some of them not so much. It depends. But you know, if you trust the person you're following, you probably would want to gain knowledge from them, pick their brain. So this is one of the sources. And while we're on this topic, I will mention that yesterday I just announced my coaching program. It's a 6-week coaching program. I call it the Full-Time Influencer Mastermind, but I'll share a little more about that later. So on the right here, you can see Teachable and Kajabi are two of the main websites that host courses. The beauty of creating a course is you don't actually need to have a huge audience to be able to create a course. If you have a small audience, but you're really recognized in your niche and you are an authority, then you can sell courses and people will buy. And even more so for coaching. But the importance is establishing authority. This is such an important thing to do, and there are many ways to do that, which is actually not our topic today. So I'm gonna move on, but also ebook is another option. It's I group it into this sort of e-learning part. Okay, the next one is presets and stickers. Technically, this is a type of product. But I think because it's so common, and it is also actually some people's full-time income, so I wanted to mention it separately. Basically, presets are settings that you can buy for images to edit your photos like the person that you're seeing. Okay, so for example, this Instagram story stickers is by the Sunday chapter and Angela, I think. Yeah, the Sunday chapter. But she had these Instagram story stickers, and this is the desktop presets by Aggie, and this one is the one by Explorosaurus. Oh, somebody asked, how can we buy your presets? I currently have not yet produced presets, but it's in the works, so stay tuned. I will announce it on my Instagram if when it does come out. But just if you're not familiar with who I am, you can go follow or take a look to keep updated with any further updates I might have in the future, and more topics on how to make money online with social media, how to make money as an influencer, how to become an influencer. All of those things I cover, and I send out tips to my email list on Instagram. So if you have signed up today, then I will be sending you an email with more info. So just keep an eye out for my email, okay? Okay, the next thing is mobile apps. So as I mentioned earlier, I put it in a separate area because I think it's a completely different type of skill set that is required. So you do need a programmer to create this for you. There are many companies out there who actually do reach out to influencers, and I was like, hey, are you trying to create an app? Like, I can create it for you. I haven't reached out to people like that, but I personally have not yet thought of this. However, one of the most successful ones is Teza. So she created an app. Her husband created it actually, and it has more than 5 million downloads right now. Isn't that amazing? And you can just imagine, like, she doesn't even have to do any more, excuse me, sponsored posts. But they pour their heart and soul into this app, and they provide presets on the app. There's tips on the app, and like there's video filters on the app. So for the people who are subscribing, it's probably very valuable. So the mobile app can be a one-time purchase or subscription, or it could be like you download it for free and then you can upgrade in app. Or sometimes if they have enough volume, it can just be they put ads in it. Yes, so this is one of the ones. And oh, KB1 is another blogger who recently started an app. And I know that there's another blogger called Mary. Her and her husband started the Trove app. It was more like a similar to an affiliate platform for all bloggers to sign up and share their outfits. I'm not sure how well that's going, but I know that apps can be a little bit more difficult with acquisition, etc. Okay. I think somebody asked a question about presets, but okay. Do you find that presets reduce photo quality? Oh, absolutely not. Actually, I think presets increase your photo quality. By that, what I mean is it doesn't affect your photo quality at all. Whatever quality you took the image at, it's that quality, but the presets can help you elevate the image and make it look a lot nicer. It can fix your shadows and highlights and fix the colors and whatnot. So I think that's why presets are very valuable to some people. It really helps to speed up your editing process. Okay, so moving on so that we can have some time at the end for questions. The 10th one is hosting, events, speaking, modeling. This is such a wide range. I just kind of have to group it together as basically events. So okay, for example, this is my friend Sarah. Sarah also has lots of valuable Bublup folders. She is a YouTuber who talks a lot about travel in New York, but she's also really become like an online travel expert, basically. So people go to her online on her different platforms to listen to her talk about all kinds of travel. And because of this, she has been engaged by GoDaddy to do a series called, I think it's called School of Hustle. And it's just amazing because she's such a great speaker on camera. And so that's one of the examples of hosting. However, hosting doesn't have to be limited to TV hosting or online hosting. There's also in-person event hosting. So so on the bottom here, you can see this image. This is Crizel, and this is an example because like she would host, or she used to, I don't think she does it as much anymore, but she used to host in-person events. And basically the brand would hire her to do the event at their store, and then they will launch a certain product, and she will basically be there to meet and greet. Yes, basically it's a meet and greet, to meet all of the people who follow her, but also are interested in this brand. So again, that's like a win-win-win situation. You can also do online events, online workshops. There are modeling events. So more recent years, there have been fashion brands who have engaged with influencers for more inclusivity, like inclusive modeling in fashion shows. Okay, I'm just gonna take a quick look at some of the questions in case it's relevant. Okay, this is a very good question. Sorry, I just really want to address this, but oh, somebody asked, what is my Instagram account? I should have put it like with a watermark on the top, but it's called Of Leather and Lace. Yes. Okay. Somebody asked, is being a plus size influencer, does it have less benefits, and is it harder to get a brand's attention? Good question. Yes and no. The tough thing is there will always be brands who are not as inclusive yet, but the good thing is we are moving in that direction. And the even better thing is you have a clear niche. You have a clear target audience who brands desperately want to reach. So if you can really brand yourself as an expert in that area, and also, pair your personal core values and, have a very strong personal brand, I actually think that's really powerful. There is nothing that should limit any race, color, size. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm Asian too, so it's not exactly the majority, but I personally don't think it's limited me. So you really want to find opportunities to use your uniqueness to your advantage. So just as an example, I've gotten a gig with the tequila brand Patron during Chinese New Year one year to create a cinemagraph. And they specifically wanted a female creator who can create cinemagraphs to do a cinemagraph about their Patron on Chinese New Year for their like limited tin. And that's just an amazing example of having your specific niche, and sort of using your uniqueness and working with brands that way. So don't ever be discouraged if you feel like you're different. It's actually your advantage. Yeah. So sorry, one more question while we're at it. Somebody says, I'm an introvert and not very good at public speaking. Do I need to overcome this to be able to be a good influencer? Amazing question. Okay. If you don't know, I'm like a huge introvert. That's why like I still get nervous when I'm talking to you guys, even though like I'm technically talking to my screen. Yeah, I still get really nervous all the time. And sometimes just going to events, it can be daunting, and I'm legit scared sometimes. And sometimes I just don't want to leave my house because I like being at home. I guess I like being alone. But the thing is, you really do overcome it over time, and you really do want to think about your phone when you're talking to your audience as you're talking to your friend. What would you tell your friend today? Hey, today I'm gonna make this coffee. Oh, this is great. Let me share with you the recipe. You really don't need to put too much pressure on yourself on your performance or how you speak, because over time you're gonna get so much better. If I could show you, if I even have any videos from when I first started doing stories, they were so terrible. They're terrible. And I also speak pretty slow in real life. Like I don't speak very fast, but because people's attention span is really short, so I've trained myself to talk faster, especially on stories. So, okay, let's move on. But this is the 10th way. Okay, Another way, again, this does go into the service category. However, I think this is so unique. A really, really good thing to take out separately to talk about is photo trips and tours. So this is very much for photographers, for travel influencers. So I know friends who have organized tours and invited their followers to come along. And along the way, they will also teach valuable lessons such as like how they shoot or when they shoot and how they edit and so on. So a company would bundle this into a tour and sell it to their audience, and the influencer basically gets to travel entirely for free, but also gets a commission from the trip. So again, win-win-win. And other examples is if you start your own tour. So mentioning again, my friend Sarah, she started her own tours in New York City because she realized there was a huge demand. So everyone was watching her videos on YouTube and they were asking her all this advice on New York City, when someday someone asked her, like, can you just give me a tour? Can you just give me a private tour? And once she announced it, she realized lots of people wanted tours from her, and it was just perfect, and it really worked out for her. Obviously, with COVID, it's taken a bit of a hit and it's on hold, but I'm sure once it starts up, it will be so so beneficial for the people visiting again to join her tour, and it'll be great for her business as well. So you can look through this example. So there are some companies here that I've mentioned, and you can check these stuff out in the folder as well. Another one is podcasts. So podcasts is, I wouldn't say it's like relatively new, but it's really popular right now. And basically everybody has a podcast. I know Ilona has a podcast. So creating your own podcast allows for many, many opportunities. If you get enough traffic, you can have sponsorships, add sponsorships. You can also create affiliate income from sales if they use a certain code. I listen to a true crime podcast and it's called My Favorite Murder. Any murderinos in here, like, give me a shout out, okay? Because I love their podcast and they have these codes that people can use and they would get a commission from that as well. Also, there are many fan pages and Patreon pages, again, sort of like a subscription for podcasts as well, where they, for example, give an extra episode that month or that week. And they can also sell their own products. So yes, so it's an interesting new one, but I am not sure how much longer it's going to last. Okay, the next part, we have spent 40 minutes talking about how to make money as an influencer. I know you're trying to get there, but what if you feel like you don't have enough of a following? There are absolutely ways to get started early on. The good thing about you being here today is that you have become more knowledgeable. Like, in the future the kinds of streams of incomes that you can have, but also the other ways that you can make social media your side hustle and become an authority in certain areas and make income that way. So obviously the first way is if you have any kind of special service or consulting, you can start your page and establish your authority. You want to be recognized as somebody who is a professional. So the way that these pages are branded can usually be slightly different to, say, an influencer's page. Influencer's page is usually more about their life, their personal stuff, whereas this is more of a professional display, like your portfolio. So this shaggy design, I actually just I didn't Google, I typed into Instagram search bar for accounts and I was like graphic designer, and that's how I found him. So more and more nowadays people are actually finding professionals on Instagram, whether it's through a feature or through the search function or through recommendation. People find professionals this way and hire them because it's such a visual place where you can showcase your specialties, you can showcase your work, or let's say if you're a consultant, you can also have videos of maybe a mini session or giving advice. So there are endless ways that you can use this platform to make your professional portfolio page where you can get clients directly. And the beauty is that's a DM function. You can directly contact people who can be your potential customers. The possibilities are endless. So, okay, next one, creating a course. Again, this is something that I earlier mentioned can be started at an earlier stage. The importance is positioning yourself as that expert, as that coach. Another really important thing is having good testimonials, but also just providing so much value to your clients. And this is a totally separate sort of realm where there's other ways to sell. So I wouldn't say that's my area of expertise. So you can take a look and see if there's some sort of expertise that you can offer other people and become a coach or a course teacher. Okay. And the third one actually is something that I think is very much in demand nowadays, is being a social media manager. So many brands are confused about how to use Instagram. They don't know how to manage their social media, and they need someone to help them. And so if you can see here in the quote here, it ranges between hundreds of dollars a month to thousands of dollars a month, thousands plus dollars a month for specific handling of various social media channels. And sometimes it could be specifically only for Instagram, sometimes it could be multiple channels, and sometimes it can also include influencer outreach. But I really do think that being a social media manager, first of all, can really sort of, how do I say this? It can help you hone in on your social media skills, but also you're a professional. You establish yourself as a professional in digital marketing and on social media, but also you learn more and more the ways to grow accounts. And honestly, you need to be several steps ahead of the people who need this service, but you might not have to personally have a huge page. So that's the beauty of being a social media manager. Okay. I'm going to speed through this last part because I don't think this applies to everyone. I also personally don't always recommend it for everyone, which is how to quit your 9 to 5 before you grow or before you make a full-time income. But I absolutely personally know people who have done this. Actually, I'm one of those people myself. I quit before I was making a full-time income. I saved up what I thought was a very healthy amount of money, and I told myself, like, by X time, if I don't make this profitable, I have to find a full-time job. And fortunately, by X time, I made it profitable. So thank God. So this section here, I think would generally apply to people who are interested in traveling full-time, quitting their jobs so that they can travel full-time, but they're trying to make some side hustle income and also grow their account. So these are some of the ways, but not limited to these only, where you can provide services. It could be virtual assistant services, and you can also sell your professional services, photography, consulting, graphic design. I know someone who is a calligrapher and she does that online, but I don't believe that's her side hustle. I think that's her full-time job. But while trying to grow a personal account, you can do all of these. And another one I know that travel influencers do when they're growing their account and maybe traveling all over the world is teaching languages online. So you can teach English online, and so my friends, the last two, Khan and Claudia, they have mentioned about how they teach English online. If you go to their page, the last two, there's a highlight section on the website that they use, which is GoGoKid, and they talk about how much money they make and how much time they dedicate to that to supplement their income while they were living in Bali, and also getting sponsorships and so on. So you can take a look at those. But I really just want to say this. I truly believe that people can make this full time, but I also do not recommend quitting your job too early. I think it's absolutely crucial that you have more than enough savings, like a healthy amount, so that you have a safety net, but also have a backup plan. So I am 200% for pursuing your dreams and goals, but doing it in a pragmatic way and having a concrete plan as to how you plan to grow, the methods that you're going to use, the niche that you're in, and the potential costs along the way. Let's say if you need to upgrade your photography gear, and how you're going to get there, and what sources of income you plan to use in the future. Yeah, because I quit my job when I had a healthy savings, but I wasn't as knowledgeable about the different streams of income I could use. So I feel like it took me a bit longer than it could take some other people. So you're in a very good place because you're already learning about this. So as an example, in 2018-19, I did accept some photography gigs here and there. And on the left, this is a proposal that Jerome and I, if he's still here, we went and we shot a secret surprise proposal. And this girl on the right here, Alexandra, she was my first ever photography client. She basically just DM'd me and asked if I could be her photographer for a morning. She just wants some lifestyle photos, and this is how it turned out. And then there were several more after that, and this is what I did to supplement my income when I was doing some sponsorships here and there, but it wasn't as stable. So basically, hustle however much you need to make it work. Oops, I know this is 7 steps, but it's 10 steps. Just ignore the typo. Okay, let me fix that. So I know you're like, okay, how do I get paid? How do I grow my account? First of all, I just want to mention that before you think about like the whole getting paid, how do I pitch to hotels? You first need to have a really good foundation. This is more important than anything. Good content, good branding, good foundation, and a community that trusts you. Before that, just focus on growing it the right way, doing it, so that you have building the solid foundation. And once you have that foundation in place, things will start to fall in place with the knowledge you now have to get there. Okay, so these are the 10 steps that I have defined to become a full-time influencer. Basically, the first part is all about defining your purpose, your brand, and then providing value to your audience. I'm sorry I'm speeding through this because there's just so much I can say about this. This would definitely require an entire other workshop to go through this. But basically, and finding your tribe, meaning like other people who are growing like you or trying to make it like you, people who are at the same stages where you can help each other, and then creating your community with your audience. So communicating with them all the time, understanding what they want, providing the value that they want, and just being a real person, being genuine, authentic. You don't need to be someone that you're not, and that's the beauty of being an influencer, because everyone has something special to offer, right? Everyone has their own special secret sauce and value, and that is just specifically by being unique and being yourself. And then network, crafting a brand story, which is like media kit, having a specific image about you and selling that well to brands, and then pitching, and pitch a lot, or you get reached out to, and then you can get gigs, get free, either you can start with free collaborations, free trips, and then move on to paid trips, paid collaborations. And then at the very end, I recommend diversifying your income so that you have multiple income streams and not just rely on sponsorships. Okay, I know, I'm sorry, this is so much information, but I just hope that this is helpful for you guys. But don't worry, we will have more workshops in the future where I can share even more in detail about how to become a full-time influencer. Yeah, so while I'm here, I'm just gonna quickly let you guys know that I do have a full-time course coming online in August. So yesterday I announced on my stories, I shared my story of sort of how I became an influencer, and then I opened a course for coaching, a 6-week coaching, and originally it was only for 12 people. It got filled out right away, so I opened another class for 12 people, and that filled out last night. So it's unfortunately the coaching program is completely closed. Yeah, but the good thing is because there's this overwhelming demand, and I just know that this course that I'm creating is going to really equip you with all of the information that you need to know. And I'm basically putting all of the trial and error, all of the talks with friends or peers into this course with specific ways that I think is best to grow in 2020 and work with brands. So stay tuned for my emails, because I'm going to be sending more updates on that, and the enrollment will start in August, like mentioned. And this is just some of the course outline, but don't worry, I'll share all of that with you very soon, because I know we have so many questions and I want to answer as many as I possibly can. So I'm just going to go through them. Okay. I will share with you everything in the email, so so I'm just going to answer some other questions here. Okay. One question from Pooja: is it good to do sponsored posts, boost posts on IG? I think what you mean is it okay to pay Instagram to boost your post, right? I personally would not recommend it unless you have a product to sell. The reason is because if you're just trying to promote your personal brand, I think it's better if you can attract a more quality audience with more organic ways. Claire asked, how do you travel for free? Okay, let me just say something. It's a good question, but I have to say this. Nothing in life is free, okay? I don't pay for certain trips, sure, but I work. I work my ass off. I wake up early in the morning. I'm not eating dinner at sunset because I'm out shooting, and I want to provide the best value I can possibly provide for my clients. And same to my audience, because I don't want to just work with a hotel and take average photos and then share that with my audience, because I want to highlight the hotel's best things, like their best views or their best food, and share it with my audience, because then they will know where to best book, where to eat at the best. Sorry, bad grammar, but you get it. Okay. Okay, sorry, there's just a lot of questions here. I'm trying to go through all of them. Oh, I'm so glad you guys find this webinar helpful. How do you find the folder? We do have a link. How do they find the link for the Bublup folder? It's in this webinar. Yeah.
Yeah, it was also sent out in the email that everyone would have gotten an hour before the workshop that had the link to join this workshop. It also has the link for the folder in that email. So they should go back to that email.
Yeah. You want to join fast, because we're reaching 1,000 people in the folder. So join and get all of the resources. And okay. Okay, what is the best way to contact brands if I don't belong to an agency and have around 15K followers? Okay, if you don't belong to an agency, being on these influencer brands increases your discoverability, because a lot of brands come onto these influencer platforms to search for people. And sometimes, like for example, for.co, they have all of these profiles on their platform, and many companies buy their membership to access this information. So being on these platforms increases your discoverability, but also, having a very, very strong media kit. A media kit, for those who don't know, is basically usually a PDF. It could be in website form, however you like to present it. It could be like a one-page JPG, but basically a media kit tells people in a nutshell who you are, what your brand is about, what are your numbers, what is your engagement, your follower count, and some other special things about you or any other brands you've worked with before. So, pitching email cold pitches, writing emails to people with your media kit, reaching out to brands, PR companies is the best way. Oh yeah, so there's a question here is what is a media kit? So I hope that answered your question. Do you know a place where you can sell product photography shots online? Yes, there are many, but I'm not an expert in which website is the best. Absolutely, but there are many. You really just need to do a Google search. So I'm afraid I can't recommend you my personal recommendations because I haven't really looked into it. So you have to do some research on that. So yes, a good suggestion, networking. Let me just say this, networking will make or break your influencer career. And I didn't realize that until later on. And it's just, I wish I had known, how to network better and, who to network with and the best practices and how to reach out to people. But, we're here now. And I will be teaching that in the course. So, and you're already in this webinar here, meaning you're already on the email list. So just watch out for the email. Okay. Thank you for all your kind comments that you find this helpful. I'm trying to find any more questions. Okay. I'm an acupuncture grad student currently in school, but I love the health field and social media. Are there people who can balance both? I want to keep my social media, fashion, beauty, lifestyle separate from acupuncture. Yeah, you absolutely can. So, the amazing thing is you can show as much as you want and as little as you want. Although I will tell you though, people will, I'm sure they would love to hear your story, as an acupuncture grad student, because they probably don't know much about it and it's super fascinating. But, it can be just part of your personal life that you share with people. It doesn't have to be your main focus. You don't have to post it on your feed or talk about it all the time. So it's all about how you position yourself and what you want to be known as an expert for. And just know that you can have multiple niches. You can be the fashionable acupuncturist, whatever you want, the internet has limitless possibilities, it's vast and you can make what you want happen on the internet. That's the beauty of it. Okay, how much time a day do you spend on your content creation and Instagram posts? So this varies greatly. I like to batch create my content if that's possible at all to prep for it. Let me show you really quickly how the app that I use to plan my feed. But okay, so wait, let me unshare my screen because I can't see myself. Stop. Webcam. Sorry guys, I'm so recording. Okay. So I want to make sure you can see. This is my feed, and I use Planoly to plan my feed. And you can, if I scroll up here, you can see all these things that I plan. Excuse these little things, like I draw these little pictures to plan the color, because that's how obsessive I am. And then I move these squares around obsessively to see what works best. But basically, you can see all of this content that I've never posted, and it's all from trips. I intensively take photos when I'm on trips, or it could be also when I'm at home I shoot. So if it's a home shooting, it can take anywhere between I'd say 30 minutes to several hours, or the whole day, depending on how complex it is. The day when I did like a mask and it had flowers on it, and I mean that took me all day. It's very, very tiring. This one. It's not easy shooting yourself. And I would say, things like this is not as time consuming. Things like this is really easy. It's like a really fast shot, but it takes time to set up the picture, the thingy, the Teza collage kit. Like this was really fast. I would say this was like 10 minutes. Okay, so it really varies. Okay, going back to some more questions. Are you gonna open another workshop? Yeah, very likely you will hear from me again, and I'll be sharing more knowledge with you all. So how to juggle all this hard work in a healthy relationship? Oh my God, such a good question. This is real question because these are real problems. There was a point where my husband and I, like, he actually asked me, like, should we break up? Because I was traveling so much, and he was very seriously asking me, and that's when I realized, okay, I can't keep doing this, like just running away all the time and traveling the world. You do have to communicate with your partner. If you are really passionate about what you do and you're putting in the hard work, um, you do need a partner who is reasonably supportive, but you also have to understand, how to get that good balance. So like I try to do weekend trips, or I try to do a lot of things in one trip so that I'm not away from my husband that much. And so far it has worked out. So it's all about your communication. Okay. Um, so yeah, if you missed the course, actually, if you missed the group coaching, you can sign up for my course that I'm launching in August. It's gonna be at a slightly lower price point than this coaching, because coaching is, personal attention. I'm gonna look at your account and tell you exactly, the things that you can do or answer your specific questions. But if it's with the course that's coming out in August, it's gonna be the exact same outline with all of the knowledge that I'm putting into this coaching course now, just without the the one-on-one chat with me. So don't worry, you'll have a chance. How to gain an audience who are interested in your content and get noticed on social media. So this is a really big question and a really loaded answer, but my best answer is you have to think about your brand as a very wholesome brand. It is an entire ecosystem. It is not something where, hey, you gotta post every day, or hey, you gotta go engage with people on hashtags every day, and then therefore you'll grow. Or just go follow and unfollow thousands of people, and therefore you'll grow. There's no one method to grow an audience. The best method is to have a clear personal brand, have a clear message, and know your target audience, and then creating that tribe of people where you can support each other, because engaging with each other means that you increase your reach. You're kind of borrowing their audience, they're borrowing your audience. That's why you need to create that tribe. You need to find your people. So let's say you're into acupuncture and fashion, find somebody else who's also into fashion, or somebody else who has similar style as you, around a similar follower count. The network and then the engagement will really help to boost your entire account altogether. And then your engagement will boost your ability to show up on the explore page, and that will, or the hashtags, and that will increase your chances of growing. But look, there's so many hacks as well. There's oof, I don't even know how to. There's just so many. Okay, giveaways. There's engagement pods. There are engagement pods is for engagement. Giveaways is to give away something for free, and then people follow you. Not my best recommended way, but there are specifics about it. There's like no one answer. There's just like 20 different things that you can do. Okay, but just remember that at the end of the day, a strong brand and a strong foundation and good quality content will always get you further than trying to use hacks to hack the system and grow a temporary following, because that is not sustainable. You do not have quality followers from that. People will unfollow really quickly, like in an instant. When they say like, oh, I don't like this, they're gonna unfollow you like that. The internet is a very unforgiving place. So just know that, you want to be nurturing a real connection with your audience and providing real value. Okay. Please share some tips on emailing brands and the etiquettes. So emailing brands will depend on what stage you're at. I think there are different strategies for different follower accounts, but the general gist of it is to find the right person who is responsible for this brand, and then basically craft them an email. There are different kinds of email. There's like the cold pitch, there's like a warmer pitch if they already know you, and there's also like the follow-up if they've already worked with you. But basically you want to tell them who you are, you want to tell them who your audience is, and then you want to tell them what kind of value you can provide. The key point is always, what value can you provide, not just to your audience but to your clients. Because if you're just writing them and be like, hey, this is my account, I would like to work with you, or I want to get paid, I don't know how often that works, right? So just make sure it's all about how can I provide value? How can I support your brand? How can I support your products? Okay. How do you develop your own brand? Yeah. Seems like everything has been done already. Oh, good comment. Okay. Yes, everything has been done already, but you haven't done what you've done yet, right? And people haven't seen what you've done because there are thousands of fashion influencers, but tomorrow there could still be another fashion influencer who comes onto the scene and is different from other people or is has a similar niche as other people but has her unique voice. I'm sorry, I'm saying her. It could be he, has their unique voice and grows an audience that way. There is absolutely no limit to a saturated niche. It's just about what you bring to the table and how you connect with your audience. Yeah. Should we reach out to brands or wait for them to discover us? Okay, so if you're at a stage where you really feel like you're ready to reach out to a brand, I would say at least in the thousands or the tens of thousands. Because before then, I would think it would be wiser to spend more effort on building your foundation. You definitely can do outreach. You know, being on people's radar is very important, and in the long term, it will pay off. Any tips on networking since this situation is hard for us? For sure, it's hard. I would start with cold email pitching and also just networking on Instagram. You know, networking doesn't have to be in-person networking or like grabbing a coffee or going to an event. It can also just be engaging with other people's content and making them aware of you. So that's a form of networking as well, or reacting to people's stories, you know, supporting them. You know, engagement is support for brands and influencers. Okay, how do you handle video and photo production? I do all of the photo myself and all of the basically everything you see I do myself. Even the video, even the ad that you got for this Bublup webinar, like I edited, I filmed it, edited myself. But the video editing is harder, but I learned everything online basically. Yeah. I'm currently at 4K and getting gifted items. How do I get paid for my posts? Okay, that's a good question. I would tell you that it's going to be a harder for you if you're trying so early to get paid. You can always ask them if they have a budget for something like this. The truth is, you know, the market is, you have to bring a special value. So what is your special value? Do you take professional photos? Do you make beautifully edited videos that they can use? You know, so because they are paying for not just the content but also the influence and the reach. So if you are lacking in reach, do you have extra influence? Let's say your engagement or your conversion is super strong. Can you highlight that? Or if you can provide content. So it's not just about the follower count. Trust me. Okay, I'm just gonna answer like one or two more questions. I edit all of my images in Lightroom. That's what I use, Lightroom desktop. Okay. Whoop, whoop. Oh, how is it possible to sign up for my August course? You're already on the email list, so I will be sending it out, and the moment I launch, you'll be able to sign up in August. Yeah. So I will be staying, everyone can stay tuned. How to involve a boyfriend. Oh, this is a good one. How to involve a boyfriend to help create content. I struggle with that because my boyfriend wants to help me but gets bored very quickly. Oh my God, girl. You're speaking to me because my husband hates taking my photos. But the thing is, okay, first thing is you want to make him super comfortable. You want to make sure the temperature is comfortable, they are well fed and they're not tired, they're not grumpy. You want to make sure you prime them to get into that mood to help you. Okay. The next thing is you want to compliment them. Whatever they do, even if it sucks, you'd be like, oh my God, this is amazing, but I think my pose was wrong. Can you just do it again like this? You're doing such a good job. Thank you for helping me. And that always works actually. But also just, I know a lot of people who have gotten their boyfriends actually hooked onto photography because they wanted to do influencing, and that's amazing. That is like your golden ticket. That's the best scenario, and it did not happen with me. That's okay. you can learn photography yourself. As you can see, I take a lot of my photos myself. Most of the stuff that you see recently is taken by myself on a tripod. You know, you have 2 hands, a brain, and you can do it. You can learn it. You can go online and you can learn everything. Okay, we can all do it. You just think, if this person can be a videographer, then I can be a videographer. If there are thousands of videographers out there, then I can do it too. I mean, that's kind of how I started. I was just like, if these people can be influencers, I think I can too. So I didn't even know what I was doing, but I was just like, okay, let me do some research, and eventually made it here. So just remember, you can learn everything. And the good thing is, I have a course coming up in August, so I can teach you. Okay, I'm gonna stop with that course thing. Sorry, guys. Um, okay, one last question. Um, how do you find your style and unique content right for you? I think this is such a good question. Um, First, look into what you love in your everyday life. Don't be worried if the content has been covered by other people, because there are content areas that still need you to cover it with your unique voice. But how do you bring your unique voice into it? You can combine it. Like, let's just take, for example, the acupuncturist again. But like, can you combine knowledge in that with, let's say, beauty, maybe Asian beauty, and also like fashion, for in this area? I think that's not entirely a bad idea. You can combine niches and make it your unique thing, your unique sauce. But also in the beginning, it's inevitable that while you're finding your style, you might find yourself copying some other people's content, and that's okay. I totally had my fair share of copying. Um, I totally copied this blogger who went like this to a taxi in front of Flatiron, and she later called me out for it. This is when I was like 3 years ago. Yeah, but look, we all have to learn through imitation, right? So it's okay. But the best etiquette is to tag the people that you get your inspiration from, and but the best way to create your own style is to find all the things you like and then add your own ideas to it. So like, how do I make this my own? Or maybe I change the color of this, or maybe I use a different item, like a different prop, or maybe I do it in a different place. So you make the content unique to yourself. But also another thing that's unique is your voice. So you add your voice, you add your core, the values that you believe in, like I believe in hard work, I believe in providing value to people. So you add those values to your message, and that makes your message so much more powerful and unique to you. Okay, so I think that's it. I mean, we're over time by like almost 20 minutes, and that's a lot of questions. I know, sorry, you guys have so many other questions, but we'll definitely have another chance to chat more on this topic, specifically probably how to become an influencer, like the steps you need to take, or how to build a strong foundation. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, you can follow me to get more updates if we have more workshops as well. And make sure to join this folder so that you can look at all the different ways that people make income. Prep yourself for the future and just be knowledgeable and be aware. Okay, I guess that's it. Okay, thanks for attending, guys.